Thank you.
Yeah. Just remind them when they show up 20 minutes before the game, it sets an expectation that they're going to start. And he's been staring at us for the last 10 minutes in a row.
I'll look after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just they only have one cart, so we're bringing guys down a half hour before game time, which they don't need to be here. So
No.
I just got another cart. So
Yeah.
Well, I'll let them know if they're streaming. We know you're starting on the hour.
Yeah. Thank you. Good afternoon, fastball fans, and welcome to the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. This afternoon's game between the Toronto Batmen and St. Paul's. Tin Cup, Aaron Trude flares a little single out to left field and turns it into a hustling double right off the hop. Aaron Trude aboard, first pitch swinging off of Caleb Kishig. I'm Blair Setford with my broadcast partner Aaron Durant. You're joining us here on the ISC Network. We're going to get the video up for you as soon as we can. We were thrown a couple of last-minute technical curveballs. We apologize for that. We'll get the video up. It's coming. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant here, ISC Network. We're going to bring you audio until we get all of the video sorted out here. It is coming. Aaron Trude aboard with a leadoff double. That is going to bring up Sam Neiman for the St. Paul's Tin Cup.
That's a nice play.
Foul and caught at the fence there by catcher for the Toronto Batman, Tyler Postel. Aaron right back to the fence, back to the plate, and able to make that over-the-shoulder catch.
Now up to bat for the Tin Cup Tornado is Tyler Boosty.
So Tyler Boulay for Tin Cup. Good young American prospect here. Tyler Boulay was on the U19 team a couple of cycles back and a player in the Minnesota area and with one of his hometown options and a good young player here for the Americans, which is nice to see. Swing and a miss. Good rise ball there by Caleb Kishig.
Aaron Trude on second base has good speed and is taking aggressive leadoffs there.
This morning, we saw Paul Rosebush go into the Hall of Fame. Aaron Trude, very similar type of player, left-handed slap hitter, great wheels, and he'll look to put those into use. We've already seen them as he turned what looked like just a little flare single into a sliding double. Late pickup for the St. Paul Tin Cup squad. They had a couple of players who were unfortunately unable to make entry into Canada. So Aaron Trude, Adam Sargon, and a couple of others, John Ziegler, playing for Tin Cup here this week. So one down here in the inning. It is just the top of the first. Thank you for joining us here on the ISC Network. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant bringing the action to you. We're going to get the video up as soon as we can. We had a couple of last-second curveballs thrown at us, technical curveballs thrown at us here with our setup. So we're working on the video. In the meantime, we'll do what we can to get you all of the audio action.
Tyler Boulay fouls off another ball here. He's taking some good hacks.
Kishig, of course, had that great run in last year's ISC World Tournament, taking the Toronto Batmen all the way to fourth place. There was a debate, was Caleb Kishig the most valuable player in the tournament? That award ultimately went to Nico Carrillo, but I think certainly a case could have been made for Caleb Kishig. Called strike three. Down goes Tyler Boulay, caught looking on the inside corner, and that will bring up Dom Marchio playing first base. The Marchio brothers, Dave and Dom, are the co-sponsors of this Tin Cup squad as well. Just inside from Caleb Kishig. So after that leadoff double, a pop-up to the catcher and a backwards K for Kishig brings up the four-batter. St. Paul Tin Cup had the opportunity here to score early, and you don't want to let those opportunities go by too often. We'll quickly set the defense here for Toronto. Shea Bryant, Justin Krlicki, Justin Krensky, left to right in the outfield. Around the horn, it's Francisco Lombardo, Ty Sebastian, Austin Brown, and Cody Skelton at first. Caleb Kishig and Tyler Postel, the battery for the Batmen, downstairs. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Kitchener. It is a little on the muggy side out there on the diamond, I can tell you that. But it is a great day here for ball here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard.
It's our first game of the day, and the stands are already pretty packed. A lot of people probably came over right after the Hall of Fame breakfast this morning.
It was a terrific ceremony this morning. John Thompson, the chair of the Hall of Fame Breakfast Committee, and always does a great job. And Kitchener, of course, are great hosts. We had a great class of Hall of Famers going in, all Canadian. First time that we've had an all Canadian class. 3 players: Sean O'Brien, Paul Rosebush, and of course I knew I was going to draw a blank on this. Rob Gray. My apologies, Rob. Of course. As ball 4, that misses just up and out. So 2 aboard with 2 out for the St. Paul Tin Cup here. It's the top of the first inning. ISC Network, Blair Setford, Aaron Durant. We're working on getting the video up for you. We'll bring you the audio right now. A couple of last-minute technical curveballs thrown our way and bringing you the coverage here at the ISC World Tournament. St. Paul Tin Cup, St. Paul, Minneapolis. And, of course, the Toronto, Ontario Batmen. It's the top of the first. You've only missed a couple of outs. Aaron Trude, a leadoff double. Sam Neiman popped out to the catcher. Tyler Boulay down on strikes looking. Dom Marchio, a long at bat, ultimately results in a walk. And that brings up John Ziegler, the designated player for Tin Cup Tornado.
Aaron Trude is still on second base, but taking aggressive leadoffs. He must have respect for the catcher's arm.
Keeshig, the big lean back, and called strike on the inside corner to John Ziegler. Early days, you don't want to get thrown out at third and run your team out of an inning. Trude's got some good smarts out there on the base paths to go with the wheels. Ziegler swings and misses, foul tip into the glove. Strike 3. Down go the Tin Cup Tornado here in the top of the first inning. We'll head to the bottom half here on the ISC Network. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant, if you're just getting in with us, a couple of last-second curveballs with respect to the video. We will get that to you as soon as we can. It is coming. We've got the camera set up. We were asked to move some of the cabling, and that's been the curveball thrown our way here. So our Sports Canada crew are working on getting those cables repositioned. We'll get you the video as soon as we can. In the meantime, stay with us here on the audio. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant, ISC Network. We're happy to bring you coverage of the 2018 ISC World Tournament from beautiful Kitchener, Ontario, the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Jim Hallman of the Hallman family, also being inducted into the ISC Hall of Fame, the recipient this year of the Bob Welby Award for the time and treasure that they devote to the ISC. Ferdy Nelson going in as an administrator. Ferdy from the Winnipeg, Manitoba area, Portage La Prairie specifically, a longtime commissioner in the ISC and one of our forerunners here on the broadcast program. And then our umpire-in-chief, Bruce Bierman, was the very first person inducted this morning. Bruce is retiring as UIC, Aaron, after this year, and a tireless amount of work by Bruce Bierman and the umpiring crew. Lou Davis, who was just up here very short minutes ago, will be assuming the UIC duties on a go-forward basis. 2 of the finest gentlemen in the game, Bruce and Lou.
Yeah, I've met Bruce and Lou a few times at these tournaments, and they're always very kind to me, and they're always welcoming to everyone that's here. He also tries to keep the umpires in line and makes sure they're showing up on time, and I know that the players respect their hard work.
For St. Paul Tin Cup Tornado, it's Ethan Johnson, the Kiwi with the dreadlocks. When you see him, you'll recognize him instantly. He's on the board. Set the defense for you. Luke Willamy in left field. Aaron Trude in center. Tyler Boulay is over in right. Around the horn, it's Dave Marchio at third. Sam Neiman at short. Adam Sargon from Toronto at second base. Dom Marchio at first base. And the aforementioned Ethan Johnson, he'll be throwing to Luke Thomas, catching for the Tin Cup Tornado. Justin Kralicki will lead things off for the Toronto Batmen. He'll be followed by Cody Skelton, Shea Bryant, Francisco Lombardo in the 4th spot, Ty Sebastian, who's had a great summer, hitting 5th, Justin Krensky, Jeff Lyons, Tyler Postel, and Austin Brown in the 9 spot for the Batmen. Fouled straight back by Kralicki. Justin is a good young prospect for Team Canada. I think he's on the 40-man roster, Aaron, and I like his game. He's willing to take the ball to the opposite field. He's one of those guys that rarely comes off the field with a clean uniform.
Yeah, I've seen the Batman play a lot of times, and he always seems to get on base somehow, whether it's a flare or a walk. He seems to play the game the right way.
Fouled straight back. Chase that one upstairs. Johnson has a great rise ball. He's a product of the junior Black Sox system, and somebody I'm sure that the big club, the New Zealand Black Sox, are keeping an eye on. Here's a little one-hopper, 2 hops, and it goes by Johnson. I think ill-advisedly was going to play that on the second hop rather than coming in and trying to get it on the downstroke, and it took a bit of a right turn, and it went right past him.
I don't even think he touched it. It just bounced around him.
So Justin Krlicki aboard with a strange, let's call it a seeing eye single. I don't really think you can give an error on that because he never touched it. But that'll bring up Cody Skelton. Keep an eye on Justin Krlicki. Good wheels out at first base. Cody, good contact hitter. Big cut. Fouls that straight back to the screen.
That was a typical Cody Skelton swing right there, as hard as he could at the first pitch.
Yeah, he always ties his shoes up because he swings like he wants to come out of them. Johnson finds a sign that he likes. Cody's got the battle. He's on a bunt on the move. Krlicki easily into second base as the throw from Thomas one-hops the shortstop, Sam Neiman. And Justin Krlicki with a stolen base.
I was a bit confused why Cody Skelton was showing bunt. He's not known as a bunter, but he was obviously doing it to get Justin Krlicki over to second base.
So good aggressive coaching here by Scott Perry. And I like the aggressive action by the Toronto Batmen here right in the top of the first inning. Get the guy into scoring position. Cody, as you mentioned, not a prototypical 2-hitter. He's more known for his power. Called strike on the inside corner, up and in from Ethan Johnson. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cody Skelton. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Blair Setford, Aaron Durant here on the ISC Network. Audio only for the moment. We are endeavoring to get you video as soon as we can. A couple of last-second curveballs thrown our way on the technical side by the park committee here. We're getting all of that resolved as soon as we can, and we'll get you video of this one at the first opportunity. In the meantime, stay with us here on the audio side. Again, Blair Setford, Aaron Durant on the ISC Network. Cody Skelton, big swing and an outside rise ball. And down on strikes, we're the first out here. Bottom of the first inning, we are scoreless between the Tin Cup Tornado and the Toronto Batmen. Justin Krlicki singled, stole second. That's where he stands right now. 1 down here at the bottom of the first inning. That brings up Shea Bryant, the left fielder for Toronto. And that is right through the 5.5 hole. Krlicki's got good wheels. Around the corner, gets the wave, no throw, and he will score standing up. Toronto Batmen break out on top, 1-0. And Aaron Durant right there, you see how speed can get you runs.
Yeah, Justin just had a huge lead off from second base and hard hit ball between shortstop and third into left field. Left fielder had to run in on it, and Justin scored easily, no throw.
So an RBI single for Shea Bryant. That will bring up Francisco Lombardo. Lombardo, the Argentine national, shows bunt, brings it back. He's not up there bunting. I will guarantee you that. This kid has got a lot of pop. He's a pull hitter. So anybody out in the left field bleachers right now, be aware you might have a ball arriving in your vicinity in the near future. Here's a one-hopper over the head of the pitcher. On the move is Neiman, the shortstop. Good strong throw to first to get Lombardo. That moves Shea Bryant up to second. So 2 down. That will bring up Ty Sebastian. Ty playing short this week. A lot of versatility from Ty. He can play all across the infield. In a pinch, he can play the outfield, and he can pitch.
Sebastian's another good contact hitter. Tends to get on base a lot. Be interested to see here with Shea Bryant on second base if he's able to take a good lead and score even on a single.
Big cut there by Sebastian at a rise ball up in the ice. Ty, in the off-season from Fast Pitch, is a referee in minor hockey and was named the minor hockey referee of the year in Ontario, the upcoming prospect amongst hockey referees. So a feather in his cap, and it looks like he might have a career in officiating as a hockey referee in his future.
It's amazing. That's a lot of work.
This one goes through the 3.5 hole as Sebastian goes the other way with it, and scoring without a throw is Shea Bryant. And the Toronto Batmen right now getting it done with singles and speed. Shea Bryant easily scoring on that 2-hopper through the infield out to right.
That was a very similar hit to the last way the Batmen scored a run. Just a hard hit ball through the hole. Outfielder had to charge the ball, and with the speed at second base, he scored easily, no throw.
That'll bring up Justin Krensky. And the Shakespeare Falcons have taken to calling this guy Thor. I'm not sure why, other than the fact that he's about 6'4", blonde, and good looking. So you've told me, at least, anyway.
Oh, that wasn't me. It wasn't me. My husband might be listening.
Justin Krensky at the back of that left side batter's box on the move. Here's the throw down. Sebastian easily slides into second base with another stolen base here for the Toronto Batmen, and perhaps exploiting a bit of a weakness here as that throw bounced on the way down to second as well. Luke Thomas 0 for 2 on stolen base attempts right now by the Toronto Batmen.
I'm not surprised to see the Batmen being very aggressive on the base paths. I know some of their coaches very well, in particular Scott Searle, who's coaching first base, and Matt Allen, who helps out on the bench. They are both believers of being very aggressive on the base paths, and they'll run until people start throwing out their base runners.
Well, no sign of that right now. We do have Scott Perry and the medical staff from the Batmen come down to check on Ty Sebastian. He's looking at that right knee and whether he banged that up sliding into second base. Unsure, but everybody is going to retreat back to their positions in the dugout, and on the third base side, Ty Sebastian saying he is okay. So 2 down. We've got a runner in scoring position again for the Batmen. They've been very aggressive, and they've also been very opportunistic so far. A couple of RBI singles, one to Shea Bryant, one to Ty Sebastian. Justin Krensky now with the opportunity to extend this 2-0 lead for Toronto here in the bottom of the first inning. Swing and a miss, chases the drop ball out and away for strike 3. Down goes Krensky, down go the Toronto Batmen, but not before they score 2 in the bottom of the first inning. It's the Toronto Batmen 2 and the St. Paul Tin Cup Tornado no score. So Aaron Durant here on the ISC Network with Blair Setford. We're audio only at the moment. We are working as hard and as diligently as we can to get you our video up as soon as we can. A couple of last-second technical curveballs thrown our way. We apologize for that. Doing everything we can to get you the video. Stay with us for the audio for the time being. Aaron, 1 inning in the books. Toronto Batmen looking pretty good so far. Very aggressive coaching that you talked about.
Yeah, they scored 2 runs off 3 hits. They had 2 stolen bases in that inning, a few strikeouts on hard swings. They're a really hard offensive team to shut down. They've got a really deep lineup, and they're a tough team to beat, that's for sure.
So, Aaron, I know it's early days here. We're only into day 2 of the ISC World Tournament. But yesterday we had a first. We had a Ontario College and University matchup. It was the Conestoga Condors versus the Laurier Golden Hawks, a women's game. And that took place yesterday morning here at the ISC World Tournament, a matchup between 2 local schools. And I think it was Conestoga who came out on top 4-3.
Yeah, they won 4-3 over the university team, so they'll have local bragging rights in the women's softball world. It was good for me to see some young female athletes participating in this event. Yesterday, later in the afternoon, I noticed there was a lot of young female softball players here watching with their parents, and I thought it's great to get the women's game involved in this tournament.
Dave Marchio lead things off for Tin Cup Tornado here in the top of the second inning. He looks at a ball low from Caleb Kishig. It was a full day of activity here at the ballpark. The games got started at 2, but there were several lead-up games, exhibition games, in addition to the women's college game. There was the Wounded Warriors, who are a local group of ball players who are kind of amputee victims from the armed forces. They were playing the local Kitchener-Waterloo Police Department, I believe, yesterday afternoon as well. And it's the Kitchener host committee here does a great job of doing all kinds of optional, let's call it, programming that help with all of the activities surrounding the ISC World Tournament and the actual games.
Yeah, the host committee has done a great job even just setting up the park. There's a beautiful beer tent out in the outfield. They've actually got the entire park licensed this year. So unlike past times I've been to Kitchener for the Worlds and other events, I don't need to just stay in the outfield area. You're able to bring your beer anywhere in the park, which is a great addition. They also have, in addition to the regular canteen, they have some food trucks set up. There's some games set up over by the Diamond number 3. So there's lots to do here for your family. There's lots to do for the ball players.
Foul ball by Marchio off the plate. It was a bit of a late swing, and that went off the toe, I think, of catcher Tyler Postel. And he'll get a moment to recoup. Scott Perry down to check on his catcher just to make sure everything is okay. Rob Deacon gives them the A-OK. We'll get back into the box. Marchio, the third baseman for the Tin Cup Tornado, and the guy behind this Tin Cup squad. Adam Sargon on deck, and then Luke Thomas. Ball 4, down goes Dave Marchio. So a leadoff walk to Marchio. Joe Todd, who was hovering somewhere here in the background, would tell us that 2/3 of leadoff walks come around to score. It almost seems unbelievable, but it is that high, according to Joe, at least anyway. And Joe would never lead us astray.
From my experience watching the Toronto Blue Jays, that's true.
Adam Sargon, the second baseman, will step in. Dustin Houts, who is a good friend of ours, asked me to rip on Sarge here this afternoon. I won't take the opportunity unless it arises. But Adam, of course, from our Toronto Gators days, a very good friend. Adam was the architect of those Toronto Gators over the years, and resulted in this shiny little bauble right here. As a bunt single, they got to go throw it. It goes right off the helmet of Sargon out to right field. He is going to get down to second base the hard way, as that was a good-looking bunt from Sarge. Kishig came in to pick it up, and the throw right off the bean of Adam Sargon, and ricocheting down the right field line. And Tin Cup Tornado put the tying runs at second and third with nobody out, somewhat unconventionally.
Somewhat unconventionally, and somewhat of a teaching moment as well. Sargon was running in foul territory there. I've had plays where if you're bunting and you're running too far into in fair territory and you get hit in the back, you could be called up for obstruction, actually, when you're trying to get to first base. So good base running there, and we now have runners at second and third.
So that'll bring up Luke Thomas, the catcher, to be followed by Luke Willoughby, the left fielder, and then back to the top of the shop. The bottom of the order here for Tin Cup. Opportunity to tie this game up. The Toronto Batmen out in front, 2-0. They scored 2 the bottom of the first. It is just the top of the second inning. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant here on the ISC network. We are working diligently. I just saw Nick, our man from Sports Canada TV, hanging precariously out the window to get the cabling set up for us and doing everything that he can as we were throwing a couple of last-minute curveballs here. So we're working as hard as we can to get you the video to go with. We hope you're enjoying the audio so far here on the ISC network. It's almost like Throwback Thursday where we're doing audio only right now.
It is.
It's only Sunday, though. Tin Cup Tornado trailing 2-0, but runners on second and third. An opportunity to tie this game up with the Toronto Batmen.
Luke Thomas is up to bat here with 2 on and none out.
Kishig wondering about the strike zone a little bit here. Rob Deacon seems to have been pretty consistent, I thought, so far, but Kishig looking for a couple of strike calls to help him out here. A leadoff walk, a bunt, and a good one by Adam Sargon, and then the throw hits him in the helmet. Here's a squib on the infield to the third baseman. Easy throw over to first as Francisco Lombardo comes from down under with the sidearm throw over to first baseman Cody Skelton for the 5-3 putout. No opportunity to advance there for Dave Marchio, the runner at third.
Yeah, that ball was hit hard enough at third base that it got to the fielder in a hurry, and with a good strong throw to first base, the runners had no chance to score.
Here's a little flare out into short left. That's going to score one from sure. Sargon is getting the wave. Here's the throw, the play at the plate. Sargon slides in safely. And we've got a tie ball game.
It's another good piece of timely hitting. That was just a fairly small flare into left center field. Base runners had a good jump, knew the ball was going to land, and the runner from second base makes a fantastic slide. Adam Sargon, tie ball game.
Adam Sargon, not known for his wheels, puts on a burst of speed coming around the corner at third, and a good aggressive slide, Aaron, as you said. And it was a close play at the plate. Rob Deacon with the emphatic safe call, and we got ourselves a tie ball game here in the top of the second inning. St. Paul Tin Cup and Toronto Batman. Aaron Trude back up to the plate here, the leadoff batter for Tin Cup, already here in the second inning, getting his second at bat. Slap attempt goes around, says Rob Deacon, strike one. So it's a brand new ball game, 2-2, and this is what you want, these nice close tight games here at the ISC World Tournament.
Aaron Trude is bringing me back to the women's game with that first attempt.
Swing and a miss on the move, head first slide, and in safely. And we've got some speedsters on these teams here. Luke Willamy easily into second base. He's going to shake out a pant load of dirt there as he scooped up a little bit.
The throw was actually a good one in time, but a bit up the baseline, and Willamy was able to get under there.
So a couple of speedsters at the bottom of the order and at the top for St. Paul Tin Cup. And you put them back to back, that can create some havoc out on the base pass. Trude chases upstairs down on strikes for second out of the inning. And that will bring up Sam Neiman. Sam was out on the bunt attempt back in the first inning, popped it up, and a good play by Tyler Postel to record an out. That was an inning ago. Got an opportunity now to put his team into the lead, does Sam Neiman. And looks at a called strike. Caleb Kishig, he looks like he's getting a little bit crisper here to me, Aaron, but it doesn't look like he's really fully found the range just yet.
Yeah, he's not dominating in this game, that's for sure. He's had a few walks early on, a few issues, I think, with the strike zone. He's had a few complaints for the umpire. But he does already have 3 strikeouts in 2 innings, so I think he's finding his way.
Well, we talked about that leadoff walk, and sure enough, the Joe Todd stat, that leadoff walk did come around to score.
Sam Neiman helping Keishing out a little bit on that swing. Swings at a ball about at his eyebrows.
Keishig, the big lean, and chasing upstairs again. Sam Neiman down on strikes, but not before the Tin Cup Tornadoes scored 2 here in the top of the second inning. And we got ourselves a tie ball game. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. It's Blair Setford, Aaron Durant. We are working feverishly, well, we're not, but other people are working feverishly to get all of the cabling run and into place here to get you the video that we want to bring you here on the ISC Network. A couple of last-second curveballs that were thrown our way on the technical side. We apologize for that. If you're just joining us here, it is 2-2 through 1.5 innings. We're headed to the home half of the second. Tin Cup Tornado out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Toronto, Ontario, Batman. Ethan Johnson on the board for Tin Cup. Caleb Keishig for the Toronto Batman. The Batman would score 2 in the bottom of the first inning. Very aggressive base running and a couple of timely hits by Shea Bryant and Ty Sebastian led to the Toronto runs. Over in the Tin Cup, top of the second inning, a leadoff walk and an unfortunate play by Caleb Keishig as a bunt was put down and the throw ricocheting off the helmet of Adam Sargon put 2 runners aboard, and then a 2 RBI single by Luke Willamy. And that's where we are right now. And leading off for the Batmen here in their home half of the second inning, Jeff Lyons, Tyler Postel, Austin Brown. And I'll be honest, I think the Toronto Batmen are hiding Jeff Lyons here in the 7 spot. This guy has been one of the top players in Ontario the last few years. Jeff, the MVP at the last 2 Ontario Challenge Cup tournaments. And just one of those guys that seems to hit the ball hard every time up. There's a one-hopper hard, but right into the glove of Adam Sargon. Nifty throw over to first, and just like that, one down here as he squared it up, but happened to hit it right to Adam Sargon.
The Batmen have a very deep lineup. Tyler Postel, who's coming up to bat, is also known to be a pretty good hitter, and Austin Brown is batting 9th for this team, and I'm sure he'd be batting top 4 for many teams in this tournament.
Want to give a shout-out to Chris Abbott, who is with us back in Nova Scotia. Chris has been on the crew in the past, and Chris, just a couple of last-minute technical curveballs that got thrown our way. We're working on getting the video. It will arrive hopefully soon. Here's another one, diving play over there by the shortstop Neiman, but an errant throw and aboard with a single Tyler Postel. I'm going to give a single. I know he laid out over there, but I don't think they were going to get Tyler at first, even if that throw is on board. Good play, good attempt by Sam Neiman nonetheless.
I thought he had no chance to knock that down. It looked like a sure hit in between shortstop and third base. Complete layout to pick up that ball and makes a really quick throw from the ground to try to get him at first base. Unfortunately for them, the overthrow just got stopped right behind first base, and the batter's still at first base.
Austin Brown, the 9 batter for Toronto, steps in, going with the high sock look. What do you think? High socks, yay or nay?
Yay. I love the high socks
look.
You
like the high socks?
Yeah,
okay.
Just like Kevin Pillar with the high socks.
It's a little bright there with the neon yellow, though, I got to say.
And the yellow shoelaces as well. It may be a bit too much yellow, but generally I'm a fan of high socks.
Well, I'm not able to criticize anybody's fashion, so I will go with your say-so right here. Upstairs, there's a ball from Ethan Johnson. We had a good day yesterday for ball games. There were several quality ball games here on day 1 of the 2018 ISC World Tournament. This one is a little flare, but that's going to go foul down the left side. There were half a dozen games that were 1-0, 2-0 games, a 3-0 game. We had a no-hitter by Kim Hansen from Denmark. He's with the Fargo Kegel Black Knights. They won 3-0 over the Waterdown Hammer. But that was a close game all the way through. Brian Newton only gave up, I think, 3 or 4 hits in that game. Unfortunately, 2 of them happen to be home runs as Austin Brown swings at one up in the zone and down on strikes. That'll bring us back to Justin Kurlicki at the top of the shop.
Another good game yesterday was the Kitchener Cubs game, which was a great come-from-behind win for them. Was it the 8th inning?
I went 9.
9.
They were trailing in that game 3-2 into the bottom of the 7th inning, and a home run by Adam Hiller. Ada ties the game for the Cubs at 3. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Matty Lyons hit what looked to be a walk-off home run, but it was stolen by one of the Bar on the Avenue players who went through the breakaway fence here, the temporary fence. He went right through the fence and stole a home run from Matty Lyon in the 8th. And then in the bottom of the 9th, Huemo Mata hit one to the moon, apparently, for the walk-off home run for the Kitchener-Hallman Cubs. Here's a high hopper into the glove of Johnson, turns and throws a seed
almost
to
safe.
First base to get the speedy Justin Kurlicki 1-3 to end the inning for the Toronto Batmen. So a 1-out single to Tyler Postel goes for naught, and we will head to the top of the 3rd inning. 2-2. The Toronto Batmen and the St. Paul Tin Cup, they are coming to the plate. Several other good games as well here throughout the course of the day. My 3 Cheers team from St. John, Newfoundland going down 2-0 to the Bare Bottom Haymakers out of Pennsylvania. But that game, only 6 hits from the entire game, 4 by the Haymakers, only 2 by our St. John's club, but a 2-0 score in that one. Real good ball game. And 2 international pitchers in that one. Young Michael Holobratic from the Czech Republic for the Bare Bottom Haymakers, and Tadima Kakana from South Africa making his debut here in the ISC World Tournament. Only gave up 4 hits. I think had 8 or 9 strikeouts. And I thought really gave a good account of himself. Just one unfortunate inning, an unearned run. And sometimes that's the difference between winning and losing, is you get the breaks or you don't.
So this is our first game of the day here, and first game that we're streaming. The video link should be up shortly. We're going retro and just doing audio now for those who are just tuning in. We've had to just reposition some of the cabling out there, which is the reason for the delay. But once the video links are up, we actually have a pretty good setup here. We're going to have 3 camera angles, I understand, and the cameras are going to be stationary early in the week, but on the weekend I believe we're going to have the cameras going to be moved. Is that right, Blair?
Well, we're hoping to get a couple of camera operators in for the weekend. We'll be adding in some replay options and enhanced score options and some other graphics for the weekend. But right now, audio only, as you said, as we face some technical hurdles here, working to overcome those as soon as we can here on the ISC network. Our apologies for audio only. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant with you here for what's been a good one so far between Tin Cup and Toronto Batman. It's 2-2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. 3-4-5 for the Tin Cup Tornado. Taylor Boulay, Dom Marchio, and John Ziegler. Kishig pours in a strike, and he looks to be just getting a little bit stronger here. A couple of consecutive strikeouts that last inning, and when Kishig gets on a roll, look out, because he can dominate a team through the middle innings. Bunt attempt, that's going to go foul by Boulay.
Yeah, Kishig had a few walks early on. Even some of the strikeouts were swings out of the strike zone, but he seems to really be finding his zone the last few batters here, and he's starting off strong against Boulay.
This one, big swing, but it's lifted foul down the left side and out of play. You can reach us here in the booth through ISC Fast Pitch on Twitter. That's at ISC Fast Pitch on Twitter. Aaron, who is very active on Twitter, and you are at Aaron Durant 42, am I right?
That's me.
At Aaron Durant 42 and at Blair JS 17 if you want to reach us here in the broadcast booth here on the ISC network. We welcome you and your input. Just a slight breeze from left to right across the outfield at the moment. Some clouds gathering in the sky, but none of them are threatening. Here's a hard one-hopper under the glove of Cody Skelton. That's going to go all the way down to right field into second base, and he'll settle for a stand-up double. Tyler Boulay leading things off for the Tin Cup Tornado here at the top of the 3rd inning. Two-hopper, Cody Skelton, who was off the line, couldn't get over there fast enough, right underneath his glove, and on out into right.
That was a hard hit ball between Cody and the line. It rolled all the way into foul territory on the right field side. They did a good job to hold the runner to second base.
Dom Marchio will step up and looks at a ball high up and out of the zone. Dom walked back in the 1st inning. Didn't advance past first. Foul ball at the plate. A little excuse me check swing foul by Dom Marchio. Stay tuned with us here on the ISC network. We've got 4 games in total here today. Coming up after this one, Hill United and the Puslinch Kodiaks. Hill United, of course, 4 times in the last 5 years, the ISC World Champions. Lance Wynn will be on the air for that one. Big swing and a miss by Dom Marchio. He'll be joined by the one, the only Varm Matosian from the New York Gremlins. Stay tuned for that. You will want to be entertained by Lance and Varm. Hopefully Varm won't be admitting to any felonies on the air here this week, as Dom Marchio swings over top of a good hard drop from Caleb Kishig down on strikes for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up John Ziegler. Ziggs was down on strikes in the first. Ziegler was all-world, second-team all-world back in 2010 with the ADCO Electric team out of New York State. Had himself a real good tournament in Midland that year. Played off and on with the Toronto Gators for a couple of seasons. Was here with the Lake Simcoe Lightning in 2013. Has some power and can actually drive the ball to right center field, and that's actually why you see Justin Krensky is well off the line, shaded over towards right. They've got a bit of a pull on, but quite honestly, Zig's power is center right. Swing and a miss, and a bit of a uppercut swing there, which Ziggs has been known to do.
Yeah, I took a hard swing at that. Before the first pitch to him, there was a bit of a conference with the batman on the pitcher's mound, probably discussing the approach to this batter.
Called a ball on the inside corner. I was about to say called a strike.
It looked pretty good from up here.
We are a little bit off center. I am looking directly down the first base line from our vantage point here in the press box at Peter Hallman Ball Yard as Ziggs chases one up and out of the strike zone for strike two rather.
It's a bit unfair. We're looking directly at the Coors Light sign in the beer tent and the Canadian
nobody
sign.
has brought us a Coors Light.
None. I've had no beer yet today. This is
swing and a miss. Zig chases one up at the eyebrows, up and out of the zone for strike three. John Ziegler down on strikes for the second time. Taylor, bring up Dave Marchio. Dave walked and scored back in the second inning, a leadoff walk, and as Joe Todd is fond of telling us, 66% of the time, those do come around to score. Here's a 1-2 hopper, backhanded by Sebastian, comes up with it, and a quick throw over to first. Good play by Ty Sebastian to end the inning. And the leadoff double by Tyler Boulay is stranded there at second base, and we'll head to the home half of the third, 2-2, Toronto and Tin Cup.
That was a really nice play by Ty Sebastian. It was a short hop on his backhand that he played like it was easy. Had the good strong throw to first base, had the runner in no time.
Aaron, we were talking about some of the ancillary activities here at the ISC World Tournament a little bit earlier. None of them are better than the Special Olympics game, which will go at 5 p.m. on Wednesday.
That's one of my favorite events that they do at the ISC World Tournament. I've been to every World Tournament since the last time it was here in Kitchener. And, the athletes that come out from the Special Olympics really enjoy that game. And I know that Cody Skelton, who plays first base for the Batman, has been actively involved. Is he the one who takes the lead in organizing the game?
Cody Skelton and Kyle Bean, formerly of the Midland Explorers, are the driving force behind the Special Olympics Games, and I want to personally commend Kyle and Cody for the amount of time and effort that they put into that. They are outsourcing T-shirts and uniforms and other souvenirs for the Special Olympic athletes, and it is, having participated in it a couple of times, and whenever I've had the opportunity, and oftentimes up here in the booth or elsewhere with teams, but it is one of those things that it's just good for the soul to participate in.
And here's Cody up to bat for the Batman. The score, if you're just tuning in, is still tied at 2. The Batman scored 2 runs in the first inning off timely hitting and 2 stolen bases. And the Tin Cup came back and scored 2 in the second inning.
Cody with the bat held high, and not sure if that was a foul ball or if it just went off the glove of the catcher. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. So Cody Skelton leading things off for his Toronto Batman. This team started essentially as the Friends of Cody about 4 or 5 years ago, and it has morphed into a very competitive top 10 ranked team. I think they started the season 6, slipped a little bit in the rankings and came down to, I think, 10 is where they finished in the final rankings. They were the defending champions going into the ISC Canada East qualifier in mid-June. That, of course, won by your Kingston Axemen. Toronto Batman finishing 3rd in the qualifier this year in what was a massively competitive Canada East qualifier.
Yeah, I was at that tournament. It was great ball, great games, a lot of tight games. The Kingston Axemen, who came out on top of that tournament, had a lot of scrappy games to get there, including a game against the Batman.
So Ethan Johnson looking for a sign that he likes. You're going inside. Cody Skelton just misses this pop.
Oh, and he falls down.
Infield. And a fall down by Adam Sargon as he hit the lip of the grass, I think, and went down in a heap. And that's an unfortunate break for Tin Cup as Sargon was just going back on that play and tumbled over. And that ball just falling onto the green. And Cody Skelton was able to wheel it into a double. And a bad break there for Sargon and Tin Cup.
The Toronto Batmen give Cody Skelton a round of applause for hustling to second base, which is not usually his strength.
Shea Bryant. That was Aaron, Cody, when you are watching this afterwards. Shea Bryant already has an RBI single. We'll look to pick up Cody Skelton here, and this one is he chases one up in the zone. So Ethan Johnson is going to have to work around that bad break with the leadoff double by Cody Skelton. And sometimes that's the way things go. You just you get a bad break, and now you've got to work your way out of it. That's the way the ball bounces sometimes. Called strike.
Shea Bryant had a single and an RBI in the first inning, and he also had a run scored.
Long look in by Ethan Johnson here before getting to the set. And this one is punched out to straightaway center. Aaron Trude comes over, picks it up, and he's got a strong arm, and Cody Skelton wants no part of that. That throw is cut off, and he will hold station at second base.
Yeah, Cody used all his speed on the hustle double. He was not going to get thrown out at third base by Aaron
on
Trude.
that play, because he would have been hosed by Aaron Trude on that. That ball not deep at all to allow Cody to advance. So especially when you got your four-hitter coming up as well, let him drive you in. Francisco Lombardo grounded out to shortstop his first trip. He will see if he can pick up an RBI here and get Toronto out back in front. A pair of Scots out on the coaching boxes for the Toronto Batmen. It's Scott Perry at third and Scott Searle over at first base. Scott looks like he's been enjoying his summer.
Yeah, Scott Searle I don't think has been at home in Ottawa all summer. He spent a lot of time with my team, the Bytown Bells. He was also in Saskatoon with Team Canada, the junior team. And when he's not with those two teams, he's with the Batmen. So Scott, if he, I don't know if he knows where he lives, but
he'll find the keys to his apartment and a layer of dust when he gets home in September to get back into school.
I think so. Scott was quite terrified when he learned that I was going to be doing the broadcast of his game, and he made me promise I would not embarrass him, so I'm trying not to.
Just inside from Johnson, able to hold back is Francisco Lombardo. It's Blair Setford, Aaron Durant here on the ISC Network. 2-2 between Toronto and St. Paul. We are working as hard as we can. I see Nick Cadis from Sports Canada still furiously running cable down here in front of us as a couple of last-minute curveballs thrown our way by some of the folks here at the park, and meant that we had to rerun some cables that were laid down. And we apologize for the lack of video. Hope you're enjoying old school right now, audio only here on the ISC Network. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant. And pretty good ball game here. Bottom of the third inning, tied at 2. Toronto Batmen and St. Paul Tin Cup. Umpire Rob Deacon is going to go out and chase catcher Luke Thomas back into position. It's a beautiful day. Sorry, Aaron, I was just going to say it's a beautiful day here in Kitchener for those who are just joining us. A little bit of cloud layer now, but still some sun peeking out from in behind the clouds at the moment. The diamond is in full sunshine, nice and bright. We've got a good crowd building here early on Sunday afternoon in Kitchener. This one is fouled right back over the screen to the train tracks.
The Batmen have only one out, runner on second base, Cody Skelton, who got there on a hustle double with a ball flared just over the second baseman. And this is one of those games for the Batmen that scares coaches because they started off good, 2-0, and now it's still tied at 2. We're in the third inning, and hopefully they can get some runs here. The Batmen, of course, are the much higher seed, but in the ISC World Tournament, you never know what's going to happen. and especially if you let other teams, the lower seeded teams, hang around.
Francisco Lombardo swings at strike 3. It's fumbled by Thomas, but they're able to throw him out at first. So 2 strikeout, but 2-3 in your scorebook at home, as Jim Flanagan likes to say.
Cody Skelton stayed at second base on that play. We now have Ty Sebastian up to bat. Sebastian had a single and an RBI in the first inning, and he quickly stole second base. He ended up being stranded at second base.
So this inning started pretty promising for the Batmen. They took advantage of the tumble by Adam Sargon, Cody Skelton, a leadoff double, but a fly out to center field and a strikeout. And the Batmen are in danger here of stranding that leadoff double. Ty Sebastian looking to add to his RBI total. Here's a little flare out into center. Trude is not going to be able to run that one down. Here's the throw to the plate. Skelton gets the wave. The throw is up the line and in safely without a slide as Cody Skelton, as Ty Sebastian works his way up to second base on the throw, and the Toronto Batmen take the lead 3-2.
That was great base running there by Cody Skelton. It was pretty clear from Ty Sebastian's hit that he got jammed, and it really just flared into center field. Not very hard hit ball. Cody read it right away, knew it wasn't going to get caught, and hustled all the way home.
Well, that's a great analysis, because the read by Cody is what sets up that run. Trude is quick out there in center field, but Cody was able to pick up that it was going to fall right away, and no hesitation on his part coming around to score easily. And this one is lifted way out to center field. Trude to the fence, home run, as that eludes Aaron Trude. Justin Krensky with a 2-run home run, and the Toronto Batmen now out in front 5-2.
That ball was pretty far over the fence. Aaron Trude had a great read on it, though, and if the fences were further back, he may have caught it. He went right through that fence in center field, and I couldn't tell how far the ball was from his glove, but it made it look like it was pretty close.
I think that ball landed right at the feet of the spectators in the first row of the bleachers. Trude, a valiant effort out there breaking through the fence, which with these types of temporary fences you're able to do. If that is a permanent fence, of course, you've got to slow down as you get close to it. But right through the fence, unable to corral that one by Justin Krensky, and a long, high, arcing home run from Thor, and it is now 5-2 for the Toronto Batmen. Jeff Lyons up to the plate. Called a strike. Lyons with a quick look back to our home plate umpire, Rob Deacon, but that pitch from our vantage point at least looked to be right on the corner. And this one just off the corner. Called a strike on the inside corner this time. So Johnson doing a good job of picking apart the corners out there, but that long home run by Justin Krensky. And his St. Paul Tin Cup team trailing 5-2 to the Batmen. Lyons, I think, would like that pitch back, fouled it straight back to the screen.
Yeah, he went out of his shoes on that swing. Jeff Lyons is a good, strong hitter, even though he's batting in the 7th hole here. In the second inning, he grounded out on a hard hit ball to second base.
Yeah, I think they're hiding Jeff Lyons a little bit here down in the 7th spot. And this one is punched out to the gap and left. It's cut off rather adeptly out there by Luke Willamy. And aboard with a single as they keep this inning going. Jeff Lyons. Cody Skelton aboard with that leadoff double. They had 2 quick outs, but Ty Sebastian with the RBI, and then Justin Krensky, of course, with the big home run. And now the single by Lyons as the Batmen keep the train rolling here. That'll bring up Tyler Postel. Tyler aboard with a walk back in Sorry, a single back in the second inning.
We've seen some aggressive base running already by the Toronto Batmen. They already have 2 stolen bases, I believe, in the first inning. Although I don't think Jeff Lyons is known as a base stealer.
Jeff, not your prototypical threat to steal. This one, we might have a play on that one, Aaron. No, that's going to go back over our heads. You're going to have to reach out and catch some of those. I have retired officially as a player, so I know you're still active playing in the Ottawa area. Become a pitcher this year, I hear, as well.
Yeah, against my will and better judgment. I was pitching in the Ladies League in Ottawa, and it's lucky I was because I ended up having to pitch for the Bytown Bells at the provincial championships, which was quite embarrassing. But at least I gave it my fair shot.
Well, a third-place finish for the Bytown Bells as this one is jerked foul down the right side and on a play. Third-place finish for the Bytown Bells in the provincials. Does that get you to nationals or no?
It would have. The nationals this year are in Saskatoon, and the team had a vote early in the year about who wanted to go and who could afford to go to Saskatoon. And we have a lot of older girls on the team, including one who has 3 children. So the team decided not to go to Saskatoon this year, but we would have qualified.
Down on strikes goes Tyler Postel. Money always an issue when it comes to the sport, and we heard a lot about that in the Hall of Fame speech about the families and some of the sacrifices that get made by families with the players supporting the athletes, whether it's male players or whether it's female players, and the trials and the tribulations that the families go through. And it takes a lot to play this game because you are doing it for the love of the game by and large. And it was really, I thought, a great tribute to families this morning by a lot of the players, Paul Rosebush, Sean O'Brien, and Rob Gray, along with Freddie Nelson talking about that, Bruce Bierman talking about his wife Cheryl and his family, of course, and Jim Hallman and his wife Sue and their family. Everybody had that same message here this morning at the Hall of Fame, and it really does transcend the sport, I think.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time and a lot of money to play fastball at a high level on the male and female side. Brad and I are never at home in the summer, and this year, we are never even in the same city because I'm playing in one city and he's playing in the other. So you really have to love the game and to not care that you're spending all of your money on hotels and gas and beer tents around the province.
For those who don't know, and shame on you if you don't, but for those who don't know, Aaron Durant is married to Brad Pender, who plays for the Kingston Axemen. And you guys just celebrated an anniversary, but I think you celebrated it in different cities, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Brad had a tournament somewhere for his birthday and anniversary, and I was in another city. So yeah, it's just the typical life of a softball family.
Adam Sargon will lead things off for the Tin Cup Tornado here. Top of the 4th inning now. Tin Cup trailing 5-2 to the Toronto Batmen. Sargon reached on that error and then came around to score back in the 2nd inning. And I don't know, I thought Sarge maybe had hit the lip of the grass when he was going out for that fly ball, but Sarge has also got the bad knee, and he may have had a bit of a knee issue on that fly ball where he went down in a tumble too. So we'll keep an eye on Sargon in that pin. Adam's always had a good eye at the plate. He and I have been teammates over the years, off and on, for what I want to say the better part of a decade. That one upstairs called a strike.
Caleb Kishig is still in pitching for the Batmen. After a bit of a slow start, he's really settling in.
Reaching and fouling that one off. Adam Sargon stays alive in the box. Yeah, we talked about Kishig, and if he can get onto a roll here, it could be lights out for the Tin Cup squad. Kishig has had 2 Ks every inning. Swing and a miss. Picks up another one here as down goes Sargon, and leading off the top of the 4th inning. It's 7-8-9 for Tin Cup Tornado. Luke Thomas, the catcher. He'll be followed by Luke Willamy. Luke Willamy has got both of the RBIs for Tin Cup. a 2 RBI single in the second. Five to 2 for the Toronto Batmen here in the top of the fourth inning on the ISC network. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant. We're doing a little bit of Throwback Thursday with audio only here on the ISC network. We're working on it. I know we're working on it, working hard. Nick is working up a sweat over there, trying to get us up with the video. He's getting close, folks. We'll get the video onto this broadcast very shortly. We're doing everything that we can behind the scenes here to get these cameras in action. There's a little flare out to short center. That's going to fall in front of Justin Kurlicki. So aboard with a base hit is Luke Thomas, a one-out single for the catcher for Tin Cup, and that will bring up Luke Willoughby.
A lot of the Tin Cup hits this game have been those little flares just over the infield.
It's also been the bottom of the order that's really done the damage. Other than Aaron Trude with that leadoff double, it's mostly been the bottom of the order here that's been bunching the hits together for Tin Cup.
I've just got a text from Brad Pender saying the video is now on.
Video is now on. So welcome again officially to the ISC Network 2018 ISC World Tournament. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant, thank you for staying with us through the audio-only portion, and we're picking up our video cameras as we speak here on the broadcast. Keyshig and Willoughby had a notion to bunt and then pulled that one back because that one was up in the eyes. Want to say hello to Rich Vassos, who lets us know that he's also got video, so that signal is getting out, and we are getting viewership. And ball 4, Luke Willoughby works a walk. So the 8 and 9 guys get their way aboard for Tin Cup, and the tying run comes to the plate here in the form of Aaron Trude. Aaron about to become a father for the second time, and want to give a shout out to his wife Amber. They've already got a young son, Cole. Sorry, is it Cole? I think it's Cole. Could also be Walker. I apologize for getting it wrong there, Amber and Aaron, but big swing and a miss by Aaron. And occasionally Aaron will chase up top, as you see the gorgeous view here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard from behind home plate.
Aaron Trude started this game off with a double.
And Aaron Trude has got wheels to spare. And when he can get the ball down on the ground, you will not get him out at first. But Aaron also likes to swing big. And he's got some pop and has to decide, I think, what kind of hitter he wants to be at the plate. Sometimes gets caught in between. This one is well hit. Deep to center field. Kurlicki to the fence. Back. Gone! Tie ball game. Aaron Trude shows you that he can hit the ball out of the park. A 3-run home run for Trude, and it is a tie game once again. 5-5 here between St. Paul and Toronto.
And just like Aaron Trude in the last inning defensively, Kurlicki did a great job trying to get to that ball, went right through that fence in center field, but I don't think he really had a shot to catch that. That was well hit.
So we talked about Aaron Trude having some pop, and indeed he shows it to us right there, a 3-run home run. And that will bring up Sam Neiman for the Tin Cup Tornado. And we are back to even. Scott Perry, as you see, out on the mound to have a chat with his Toronto Batmen.
So it's a tie ball game in the top of the fourth inning. Toronto Batmen, of course, are the home team here. But this is turning into a good game. We've got a good crowd starting to form, both behind home plate and in the beer garden.
The bottom of the order does it again for Tin Cup. Luke Thomas and Luke Willoughby getting themselves aboard for the top of the shop, and that's what you need out of your 8 and 9 batters, Aaron, of course, is to get those guys on board and set the table.
It makes a huge difference if your 8-9 batters can get on base and set the shop for the top of the order. Up now is Sam Neiman, who hasn't been on base yet. He fouled out to the catcher in the first inning and struck out in the second.
Kishig pours in a strike. He's been able to rack up the strikeouts. He's got 7 of them so far here, just in at the top of the 4th inning, but has been victimized now by the home run by Aaron Trude. And we got ourselves a slugfest here, 5-5 here in the top of the 4th inning. And I don't know, Aaron, that's a surprise that the Batmen were putting up runs, but I think a bit of a shocker that St. Paul has been able to answer back the same way that they've been able to.
That's a strikeout there, swinging.
So Tyler Boulay will step in. Tyler down on strikes in the first, and then a hard shot down the first base line. Cody Skelton still well off the line at first base, and Boulay was able to smash one in between Cody and the line his last trip, but this one hard foul on the left side this time.
Just swinging with the pitch there. That ball was pretty far outside.
Yeah, if you're joining us on Twitter, at ISC Fast Pitch, at BlairJS17, at Aaron Durant 42.
We're going to have the live stream set up on this diamond all week, I understand. But, of course, we've got live scoring on the other diamonds on Point Streak. So if you're looking for the scoring updates on other games, you can go to the ISC website and click on the ISC logo to get to the Point Streak website.
I understand it was 12-0 for the New York Gremlins. They were playing the Coburg DRC team. Coburg making their ISC debut and drawing a very tough New York Gremlins team, who you could argue, Aaron, might be the co-favorites here this week, as just winning the the ASA, or now USA softball national title, as Boulay down on a check swing called a third strike. So down on strikes goes Tyler Boulay. Another, in fact, 3 strikeouts this inning for Caleb Kishig, but it's a 3-run home run by Aaron Trude that ties the ball game. 5-5, St. Paul Tornado and Toronto Batmen tied at 5. We are headed to the home half of the 4th inning, and New York Gremlins dispatching the Coburg DRC team. I see that game is over on Diamond 2. That is just beyond center field. You can almost see that on your shot there at home.
Looks like the final score of that was 14-0.
14-0 for the New York Gremlins. I was just starting to say that they won the USA title last week, and you could almost consider the Gremlins perhaps a co-favorite with the Hill United Chiefs here this week. Yeah,
there was a lot of talk in the beer tent last night when I was here watching a few games about who the favorite is, and a lot of people do think the New York Gremlins team have a good shot this week to perhaps upset the perennial favorite Hill United Chiefs. The Gremlins have played well this year, and certainly after the ASA championship win, people are looking forward to seeing them play.
So we will be joined by Varm Matosian, who will be up in the booth with Lance Wynn on our next broadcast. The Hill United Chiefs, the champions here in the ISC 4 times in the last 5 years. They have played in every championship game since 2012.
That's amazing.
They have what I believe is a 34-3 record over the last 6 years in ISC play, which is outstanding. Here's a bunt drop down by the Batman here, as trying to work his way aboard Austin Brown, and we thank for the water there. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Delivering the water. Somebody must have noticed that I was getting a little dry up here.
Perhaps. They haven't delivered beer yet, though. I don't know.
Well, Todd Martin, I'm sure, will do his best to deliver beer later on this evening. You may want to come back for the Todd Martin show. It was the Todd Martin show this morning at the ISC Hall of Fame breakfast. Todd involved in 3 separate introductions and presentations for the induction ceremony here this morning. Todd Martin, of course, a Hall of Famer himself, but also one of the most gregarious and best teammates out there of the last 25, 30 years. And people feel so affectionately about Todd. He's the guy that they go to when they're looking for somebody to introduce them for the Hall of Fame, and all the way back to guys like Colin Abbott. Earlier last year it was Todd Budke, and now this year it was Paul Rosebush, who had Todd Martin involved, as well as Jim Hallman and Rob Gray as well. So Todd Martin making a big an impact off the field as he did on the field, and one of the biggest personalities in the game, certainly in the last few years.
Well, even off the field, as you were saying, he's a well-known guy now in the women's game. He's been involved in coaching pitchers, I believe, including Jenna Kyra, who's on the Canadian national team. And I believe he has a daughter, does he not, who's playing ball?
She is in the under-12, I want to say, program with the Aurora Diggers, I believe the program is, for minor ball in the PWSA side of things, and Todd is involved with that. Yeah, that one's going to be fouled right out of play over our heads. Justin Kurlicki, as we were chatting, worked his way aboard with a walk, as you want your leadoff hitters to do. Already has a stolen base to his credit here this game. Scott Perry has been very aggressive, and here in this tie ball game, I would expect to see Justin Kurlicki on the move again. Cody Skelton at the plate. He squares to turn, but pulls it back. Kurlicki took a big lead, but then threw out the anchor. A lot of pressure is going to be on Sam Neiman, the shortstop, because Adam Sargon does not move that well laterally with the bad knee, and we'll be able to see if he's going to be able to take anything. Here's a bunt. It's a good one by fielded by Johnson. Good strong throw, and they get Skelton at first, and that is a textbook bunt there by Cody Skelton.
Yeah, that was a great bunt by Cody Skelton. It was right at the pitcher, but with Justin's speed, they had no chance to get him at second base, and they just went to first.
So Kurlicki up to second on the play, and that will bring up Shea Bryant. Shea, an RBI single in the first, flew out to center field in the third, so 1 for 1. Also has a run scored. Big cut there by Shea Bryant, comes up empty.
So the Batmen have a runner in scoring position here. They're down, tie ball game still in the bottom of the fourth inning. With Justin Kurlicki on second base, you don't have to hit the ball too far to get him around to score.
Upstairs, Johnson misses. Outfield is pretty much straight away. Trude has a good arm in center. Don't know Willoughby. I don't know Tyler Boulay. He used to catch, actually, so can throw it as far as second anyway. Called strike on the outside corner.
Bryant not happy with that call.
I see Marg Ryan down in behind home plate. She looks like she's going to go sit right underneath our camera. She'll be out of your view, but in her usual perch right in behind home plate. Bryant looks at a pitch. Had some courage to take that pitch with 2 strikes, I think. That was just off the outside corner. And this one hammered right past the first baseman. Here's the throw. It's up the line. Scoring easily is Kurlicki, as it was a decent throw from Boulay, but then it tailed away and went up the line. But a good hard hit single by Shea Bryant right past first baseman Dom Marchio. No chance to get that whatsoever. That was about 6 feet to his right, and a good hard hit ball. Just hit it where they throw it. And Shea Bryant picks up his second RBI of the game.
Kurlicki with great base running there again. He had a huge lead at second base. As soon as that ball was hit, there was no question in my mind that he was going to come around and score.
Shea Bryant has good wheels out at first base. Francisco Lombardo up at the plate. Big leg kick and the turn, and then takes for a ball up and out of the zone.
I'm somewhat surprised that Bryant's still at first base. Usually with Scott Searle coaching first base on any throw home, he's really pushing the runners to try to get to second base.
The leg kick and a bit of a change of speed there from Ethan Johnson. We haven't seen much of a changeup from Johnson, but looked like he pulled one out of his back pocket there and had Lombardo way out in front. So Toronto Batmen take a 6-5 lead over the St. Paul Tin Cup Tornado here in the bottom of the 4th inning. This one has been back and forth. Toronto's had the lead a couple of times, and Tin Cup have come back each time as well. Field 1 action here at the 2018 ISC World Tournament here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. New York Gremlins already off the field, 14-0 winners in 4 innings over the Coburg DRC.
The Bombers game's also finished 9-0 over Ohsweken.
So JB Bombers, who come in the 4 spot in the rankings, last year's finalist, as Lombardo works a walk. We'll have a little meeting out on the mound here. A pair of runners aboard for the Toronto Batmen. Ty Sebastian, he's got a pair of RBIs, 2 for 2. And what do you do with Ty Sebastian here? Do you put him aboard and go after Justin Krensky? All he did was hammer a 2-run home run his last trip.
Yeah, this is not a very good position to be in here, although they already have 2 outs. I think I'd try my luck at Ty Sebastian. Sebastian, of course, a very dangerous hitter. Very scrappy hitter, always tries to find a way on base, I find. Swings at good pitches.
Ty's got a really good eye. He was on our Toronto Gators team back in 2016, and as a young player who is used to leading, he was able to adapt into a different role that year and was not asked to be the leader on the club but become the pupil, become the student. And I thought did a great job with some really key at-bats in some key games. As a rookie in that spot, able to work some walks in key times in games and get aboard for the guys, the Benanokas and the Brad Ronas at the top of the shop for the Toronto Gators. So he's got a ring. He knows what it takes to get back to that championship game. And he's going to bring that experience here to the Toronto Batmen over the last couple of seasons.
Hard to see on the web stream due to the location of the umpire, but he stands really close to the plate to start, and he seems to step away as the ball comes in. It's an interesting approach. It's probably why he has that shin guard on.
Ty in the 40-man pool for Team Canada. Looks at a pitch up and out of the zone, well up and out of the zone. He was a member of that team that was down in the Pan Am qualifier last fall and unfortunately finished not only out of the medals but out of the qualifying position. We'll have to talk with Coach John Stewart and some of the other Softball Canada officials who will be in town later this week. We've got John Stewart scheduled to come up here in the booth. But is there any chance for Team Canada to get into the softball competition? Here's a line shot out to center. One hop off the fence. Trude picks it up. A throw into second. Here's the play at the plate. Another throw. It's up the line. Safe. Sliding in is Lombardo.
And there's great
Sebastian,
base running.
Great base running, as you said, is going to get all the way up to third on the throw around. A lot going on there on that play, but the very good base running here by the Toronto Batmen this afternoon.
Yeah, Francisco Lombardo, who's not known for his speed, scores all the way from first base, hustling the entire way. It was going to be a close play at the plate. Throw was a bit offline, got by the catcher, and Sebastian made it all the way to third base.
So we'll give Ty Sebastian a double and then going all the way to third on the throw. But he's got 4 RBIs on the game here as both Bryant and Lombardo coming around on that play. Krensky up, and that pitch right into the right bicep. Nobody needs to check on Justin Krensky. They need to ask the ball if the ball is okay.
Yeah, I think Krensky's going to be okay. Looks a little bit upset, but
he looks peeved.
But he's got he had the elbow pad on, so I think he's fine.
Yeah. There's a ball that's got a bruise on it right now. So runners on first and third for the Toronto Batmen. And Ethan Johnson in a bit of trouble here. He's now trailing 8-5 if the Batmen have put up 3 and counting here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jeff Lyons at the plate. And he had a notion to go after something big there. You could just see he wanted to pull the trigger, but couldn't hold it back.
They've scored 2 of those runs with 2 out in this inning.
Upstairs, so I guess he was able to hold it back because we've got 2-0 on the scoreboard here. I thought he went around on that first pitch, to be honest. You be the judge. You've got as good a view as any of it right there in your living room. Called a strike.
Jeff Lyons a bit upset with the strike call, but it looked pretty good to me. Lyons has 1 single in this game.
And called a strike on the outside corner. Lyons, the 8th batter of the inning for the Batmen. They've plated 3 runners on the corners. And this one is hammered over to Sam Neiman, and going up to second base is Justin Krensky. He will hold station there. Ty Sebastian comes in to score the 9th run of the game for the Toronto Batmen, and they have a 4-run lead now. And Ethan Johnson is running into some trouble here with these Batmen as they get their 3rd and 4th look at him over the course of the game.
It's really been good timely hitting for the Batmen in this inning and in this game. Hitting a lot of singles and excellent base running. Hard hit ball to first base to end the inning. So after 4 complete innings, the score is now 9-5 for the Toronto Batmen.
So Aaron, as we picked up our video here, shortly we'll be able to bring you our sponsors as well. But we do want to acknowledge Skelton Trucking, Jukasa Radio out of Oswegan, Jack Fireman, Kelly's Pub and 3 Cheers Pub, Corbett, Source for Sports, Circle Tap, of course, in Denmark, Wisconsin. We'll be there next year for the ISC World Tournament. Mr. Ned, Custom Tailor, Peligro Sports in New York City. ISC Canada East, our region, helping to sponsor the broadcast this year.
Yeah, it's really important to have these sponsors for the broadcast. You told me earlier today how much it costs, and I won't disclose that information, but it's not cheap to do this, especially with 3 cameras with the in the live streaming. It's a big expense for the tournament, but I think it's one that's appreciated by all the fans and family that weren't able to make it to Kitchener. So I'd really like to thank these sponsors for making this happen.
Well, we work hard to bring our fans around the world the games. We know how much the fans enjoy the ISC World Tournament, and when they can't make it, we try to bring the game to them. It is a lot of work, as you said, and I know our Sports Canada TV, Nick Cadis, our production group here this week, is working tirelessly to get the rest of the cameras recabled, and we'll get to everybody as soon as we can. We're happy to get the single cam up for you. We've got more coming. We've got the some great video produced ads, if I may say so myself, coming. Sit back and enjoy the show over the course of the week. Blair Setford, Aaron Durant here with you right now. Lance Wynn and Var Matosian coming up. Joe Todd is ever present here on the ISC Network. Kyle Smith will be arriving back in town tomorrow. We have some great guests lined up for you over the course of the week. Don't want to spoil too much, but it's going to be a great week here at the 2018 ISC World Tournament here on the ISC Network. This is just game 1. We've got 23 in total that we'll be bringing to you, as this one is just tap foul down the left side. It's going to be a fantastic week, and hopefully the weather cooperates. It's looking good so far here today, and for the rest of the week, maybe outside of Thursday. I know down the hall there, my colleague Craig Donaldson is doing his best weather dance to get the weather gods aligned for us here in Kitchener.
The athletes are probably happy to see these clouds roll in. It was really hot when I arrived at the Diamond at 12 noon with not a cloud in the sky. We now have some cloud cover, but I think it's welcome cloud cover for the players.
Dom Marchio at the plate for Tin Cup Tornado, the 4-batter for the St. Paul squad. Dom walked back in the first inning and then a strikeout victim in the third. And down on strikes here again in the fifth, this time caught looking. And Caleb Kishig now, I'm going to have to get my fingers and toes involved in the math here, but it looks like he's got, that was his 10th, I believe. Do you concur there, Councillor?
Yeah, I've got 10 strikeouts for Caleb Kishig in this game. We're getting towards the bottom of the Tin Cup order, which is actually who's been doing most of the damage for Tin Cup.
John Ziegler at the plate. John, the designated player today. Thought he might be playing third, but a left-handed third baseman, not something you see too often. Swing and a miss there. Kind of jerked that one through the zone, John Ziegler. We talked about earlier an all-world selection back in 2010. And chasing upstairs, which John has been known to do from time to time over the years, chase upstairs.
Kishi goes up there again.
Well, that's where Ziggs struck out back in the third inning rather, was well up in the eyes, and I'm sure that Tyler Postel will have made note of that, and they'll go right back upstairs. Well, they go with the drop outside, but waving over top, they get the same result. Ziegler down for the third time today on strikes, and most of the outs here in this game for St. Paul really have been by way of the strikeout. I've got a couple of ground outs here to third base and to shortstop, and that pop up to the catcher, but everything else has been a strikeout here, but of course it's been sandwiched around several hits and some RBIs, and Aaron Trude, of course, with the 3-run home run. But Caleb Kishig showing some flashes of brilliance that he had last year down in Grand Rapids, where he was a first-team all-world pitcher.
He's getting ahead of this batter, too, with strikes early in the count.
Dave Marchio at the plate. Dave, a walk and a ground out with a run scored here this afternoon. And swings over the top of the drop. If he can get the drop and the rise working, it could be good morning, good afternoon, and good night, as another 3 strikeouts for Caleb Kishig. Maybe he's getting on a roll here as we will go to the home half of the 5th inning. Toronto Batmen 9, St. Paul Tin Cup Tornado 5. Here on the ISC Network. Blair Sedford and Aaron Durant. This is game 1 of 23 here on the ISC Network. Coming up, we have the Hill United Chiefs and the Puslinch Kodiaks. We'll bring you the opening ceremonies here at 5 o'clock, scheduled for 5 o'clock, start time here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. And then at 6, it will be the Kitchener-Hallman Twins taking on the Alvinston Aces. And at 8 o'clock, Circle Tap Dukes, next year's host team. Circle Tap Dukes, they will take on the Shakespeare Falcons. I think I'm back in the booth for that one with Joe Todd, if memory serves.
We hope you're enjoying the live stream. We have one camera angle up right behind home plate, and we're going to have 2 more that will be circulating through. Our cameraman is just working on the cabling. We had to do some last-minute changes to the wiring at the request of the host committee in the city, just to make things safer for the pedestrians down below. But the other camera angles should be up quickly, hopefully by the next game.
Yeah, it's a lot of work cabling, and especially when you have to do it twice. And it is what it is, folks. We apologize for it. We will get to all of the camera angles online as soon as we can, but we're happy to bring you coverage here of today's game and here all week. Again, we do want to thank our sponsors, Skelton Trucking, Jukasa Radio in Oswegan, Ontario, Jack Fireman, Kelly's Pub, 3 Cheers Pub, out of St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Corbett Source for Sports in Oakville, Ontario, Circle Tap back in Denmark, Wisconsin, Mr. Ned, your custom tailor in New York City, Peligro Sports in New York City, of course the ISC Canada East region helping to bring you the broadcast here this week, and the ISC itself providing our funding here this week for the broadcast here on the ISC network. Ethan Johnson still out on the board, I believe, for the St. Paul Tin Cup Tornado. It absolutely is. Ethan, pinch hitter here for the Batman, that is number 21.
Scott Wilkin.
Scott Wilkin. So going to the bench, Scott Perry and Scott Searle and Matt Allen. He's hitting in the 9 spot for Austin Brown. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Batmen are up 9-5. Missing upstairs, Ethan Johnson with a bit of a tap on the hip you see there, and not too thrilled with the result.
Yeah, they're up 9-5, but before the last inning it was a tie ball game. It's been a pretty close ball game. The Batmen just came alive with a series of hits in a row in the last inning.
Well, as you said, they bunched a lot of that with 2 outs as well. So some timely hitting and some good clutch hitting by the Toronto Batmen. It's been back and forth, as you said. The Batmen were up 2 early. St. Paul came back and tied it at 2. The Batmen raced out in front 5-2. And St. Paul able to come back and tie it at 5. But Toronto now up by 4. And a leadoff walk to a pinch hit 9 batter. And that will bring him up back to the top of the shop with Justin Kralicki. And it has been the top of the shop that has done a significant amount of the damage here for the Batmen. Justin Kralicki has a single, a walk, a stolen base, a couple of runs scored. So he's been all over the scorebook here today.
Shows bunt.
Ty Sebastian with 4 RBIs, Justin Krensky with 2, Shea Bryant with 2. This one skips through the wickets there on catcher Luke Thomas, and easily up to second base goes Scott Wilkin. He stayed in the game and continues to run. And that's a sign when a team's getting tired, is you can't get down and block that pitch in the dirt and it gets through and you give up the extra 60 feet of real estate. Got to keep the focus and stay in this game. You're still only 1 swing away if you can get the bases loaded. And you can't afford to allow a couple extra runs here to the Batmen this late in the game.
I don't know Scott Wilkin, but he's taking a pretty aggressive lead at second base. Looks like he has some wheels, and he'll be looking to score on any hit to the outfield, I would guess.
Well, they've been doing that all day. They've been challenging the arms of the Tin Cup team, and they haven't been able to throw anybody out at the plate just yet. So I think you're absolutely right. He will be on the move. That's a big lead off of second base. And there's the walk again to Justin Kralicki, doing what a good leadoff hitter should do, taking pitches. And he'll be up to first base. So a pair of base runners with nobody out for Cody Skelton.
Cody Skelton has, he's in the scorebook of having a double, but there's a lot more to that. He basically had a flare into right field, and the second baseman, I think, tripped over the lip, and Cody had a good hustle to get to second base.
And when you look at that inning, that was almost a turning point for that inning. This one is right up the grain elevator, and caught in foul territory, reaching out to his left, is Dave Marchio, making that play coming in about 38 feet from third base. But that would have been a home run in a grain elevator.
That brings Shea Bryant up to bat, who already has 2 hits, 2 runs scored, a few RBIs.
Bryant, as you said, with a very productive afternoon so far. That's what you want out of your good 3-hitter as well. Shea is a Michigan product and spent a couple of years with the Midland Explorers before that organization wrapped up its run. but continues to play here in Ontario, and we're happy to see him out at the ballpark. Like a lot of guys, I think Shea is involved in coaching on the women's side of the game, if I'm not mistaken, in the Michigan area. Tyler Dudley, who's also in Michigan, heavily involved in that as well. And this one is laced to the gap in center right. That's going to score 2 easily as Bryant will turn the corner and head to third. Slide and safe as the ball gets away from Marchio. And Shea Bryant with a 2 RBI triple. And the Toronto Batmen here are getting close to the run rule as we are now in the bottom of the 5th, and they have stretched this lead to 11-5. Shea Bryant will represent the run rule differential out at third base. 2
things on that hit. Shea Bryant has a really nice, short, compact swing. He did not swing very hard at that pitch at all. He had a nice hands to the ball approach, slapping it over into the right center gap. And again, the Batman with very aggressive base running, and Bryant sliding into third base on a close play. But again, the Batman being rewarded for being aggressive.
Well, he joins Ty Sebastian in the 4 RBI club here this afternoon. And Francisco Lombardo with an opportunity to put paid to this game as the Batmen now with an 11-5 lead. And the run rule is out at third base. Downstairs to Lombardo.
Of course, this is the bottom of the 5th inning, so a hit here for Lombardo could end the game.
And that will do it, as this one is long gone and off the tent out in right center field. A line drive walk-off home run. The Toronto Batmen will win it 13-5. And we will get a short one here on the ISC network to open up our Sunday afternoon as the Toronto Batmen pull away from the St. Paul Tin Cup squad. And Aaron Durant, a couple of 4 RBI guys for Toronto Batmen, but you see the power that they've got up and down the lineup, some speed mixed in. Looks like they're gelling here at the right time.
Yeah, their top of the order was absolutely deadly here today. I'm looking at the scorecard, and almost all of them came around to score, had some RBIs. But the thing I really took away from this game was the speed and the aggressiveness of the Toronto Batmen. They had a lot of extra bases that they stretched, a lot of stolen bases. They're going to be a tough team.
So the Toronto Batmen looking to get back to the Final Four again. That's a good start for them. For St. Paul, they will actually play the St. John's 3 Cheers pub team on Monday at noon. Keep an eye out for that game. All 3 of the 2 o'clock games are over. New York Gremlins win 14-0. The J&B Bombers 9-0. The Toronto Batmen 13-5. Stay with us here on the ISC network. Coming up in about 25 minutes, it will be the Hill United Chiefs, Puslinch Kodiaks, Lance Wynn, and Varn Matosian will bring that one to you. For my broadcast partner, Aaron Durant, thanks for being here with us. Hope you enjoyed the retro broadcast that we started things off with here. And we will catch you on the flip side. Thanks, and good afternoon.